Hi everybody, so now we're going to go on to our technical piece. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through side kick. Side kick is one of the hardest sort of kicking techniques there is, because there's so many things that need to be right for it to make it correct. Okay, so each of these points I want you to be really diligent about it. I want you to be introspective and look at, are you doing it right? Are you putting the foot in the right place? Is the leg in the right place? The knee in the right place? Each of these things is so important all the way through. Don't move on to the next piece until you get in the first piece right, and then move on. Now what I'm not going to do is load those repetitions. What I'm going to do is set out a plan for you to do repetitions with, and sort of give you a pointer how many you maybe should be doing on it. Okay? So before I've done all of this, I've done my mobilisation piece that I showed you the other day, with looking at crouching down with feet reaching up, and all of those pieces. So I've done all that already. So now we go on to our next piece of getting the hips all warmed up specifically for side kick. Now a lot of these you do every single lesson you come along, so you are well versed in it, but are you doing it correctly? Okay? I look along the lines, a lot of people when they're on the walls, and they're not. Things are not quite right. So I want you now to put those right, so that we have perfect practice, so when you come back to class, then it is fantastic, and your side kicks are so much better. So, first off, we're holding the wall, one foot hand on the wall, my foot's on the floor, my foot is around about 75 degrees pointing to where my leg is. I hold just in the middle of my shin, and lifting my knee up and my foot up. You notice my foot is in line with where my knee and my thigh is. Okay? My pelvis is pointing straight that way. I do not move my pelvis, but I move the knee back, the knee forwards. Okay? So I start to sweep backwards and forwards. Notice, this does not change. This is not doing this movement at all. I'm holding that stable, and all I'm doing is pulling back. So I feel it all the way down the front of my leg, my quads, and into my hip flexors, because they're the important ones we want to get working here. Okay? So again, up, pull it back, and forwards. My foot on the floor is basically pointing that way, around about 75 degrees. 45 is fine, but 75 is better. So that's number one. Next one we want to do is to start working on the musculature that's holding the leg up in place. So we've got a number of different things we can do here. So again, place my foot, plant my foot, because this is where my foot's going to be when I do my side kick. So we're doing all of that training. All I do is put my leg up at around about sort of 75% of where I need to be, not fully locked out. From here, I do small movements backwards. Okay? Size of a small football. Once I've gone backwards, and I'll probably do around about 10 to 15 repetitions that way, I then go the opposite way. I go forwards. Small little movements. So it's creating stability in my hips. All the small little muscles that are there creating stability, stopping injury, also holding the leg up, they're all being worked. So now I do on a different plane. Take it up again. Up and down. Small up and down movements. Okay? I'm looking to move from the hip, okay? And move it that way. Then I take it here, backwards and forwards. Okay? So again, creating stability, so we start to get it strengthening up. Last but not least, we're going to go on to our CD line. Now, for those of you who don't fully understand what CD line is, it comes from when we have a pattern. And when we have the shape of the pattern, the line that is linear that you're going to be moving up and down on, the north-south line, that's the CD line. Okay? So all we can refer to that is, we're moving the foot on a straight line backwards and forwards. So, again, from this position, we push the foot out on that straight line. We pull back. Notice my knee pulls back, my foot comes back on this straight line. It doesn't come back to my backside, okay? So if I come this way around so you can see, then from this position here, I push, I pull. I push, I pull. You're looking around about 10 repetitions on each leg of that. You'll probably go through that a couple of times either side, okay? That's our warm-up done. So, now what I want to do is to take us through the mechanics of a side kick. And then we'll go through a whole load of processes to get it better. So, with a side kick, we need to make sure that when we are in position, if I hold on to here, that it's exactly the same as you have with this CD line. That when I'm delivering it, my foot is so it is either in line or just the other side of my supporting leg. Here. Okay? What happens is, not this. My heel is not, because this is my CD line, my heel is behind. So whenever I send my foot out, it needs to be on the CD line or slightly past it, only very slightly past it. Then we're doing a proper side kick. If we don't do that, what happens is from here as we lift up, this just becomes a turning kick. Boom, that comes out. Just because it looks like a side kick when we get to the end of it, the movement, doesn't make it a side kick. It's the journey that also matters with that. Okay? So, what we're now going to do is we're going to do a group of exercises to actually train ourselves to make sure that we are doing that, we're sending it out. Because we want to be punching out with the kick. It's Yokcha-Jirugi. Side, kick, punching. That's what it means. Yokcha-Jirugi. So, we set our foot. Heel pointing down at about 75 degrees. From this position, all we do is we lift up our knee, my foot, in line with the leg. I come down. I pull up again. I push it out. I pull up. I push out. And then we rest. Okay? So we go to low, middle, and high if we can. Don't compromise your movement. Don't compromise your style just to go higher. Go as high as you possibly can, but not any compromising of your style. Okay? So yet again, we lift up, we're down. We lift up, we push. We lift up, and we push. Now, something else to notice looking at the upper body. The upper body is so important as well. A lot of people, what happens is they allow the shoulder to rotate over, which then rotates the hip, which means they're still starting to do the kick incorrectly. So we need to make sure we keep our shoulder backwards so that we open up the chest here. So we're in that position when we're kicking here. If we come here, now what starts happening is we start kicking out towards the back, using the glutes, and then we can start having hip problems. We don't want to do that. Okay? So, once we've done low, middle, high, what we then do is we go into doing repetitions of the movement. But we do the rotation. So from here, up, kick, in, and down. So if we look at the foot on the floor, up, kick, in, and down. Okay? Just do repetitions of that. Make sure we're doing both sides. Okay, so let's look at movement now and moving through the actual getting the kick to happen whilst we're moving. The easiest one is we come from a fighting stance. So my heel, my toe on my rear leg is in line with the heel on my front leg. This allows me, as I step up, to come to the side. It puts me in the correct position of when I lift this, again, it's in the right place, in line with this leg or on the CD line. So it makes life easier. But from here, we place it, lift it, and then extend it. However, we need to start bringing the arms in as well now, because with our Yokcha-Jirugi, when we're a colour belt, we need to do our strike as well. Now the strike isn't a punch, the strike is like a back fist that's coming out. So if we look at what the general's teaching was, it was about if someone actually came in on your kick before full extension, you still have the ability to actually have an attacking technique to the head with the back fist. So the back fist needs to be to your eye height. Or, as we also say, it's in line, parallel with the leg, wherever it is. But if your leg is not where it should be in regards to this being eye height, that is where we need to look at. This is eye height. The leg gets to where it gets to from here. Whereas if we can get it up to parallel, then we do that. Okay? So, with this piece, we need to look at where do we chamber with our hands. So if we go back to our sit stance this way, as I come up, I place my front hand, the one that's going to strike, on top. It's on my front chest line. So front chest line is here, centre line, rear chest line. On top. It is solar plexus height. Okay? So from here, step, front chest line. As I lift my leg, now what happens is I can extend this arm out, extend the leg, boom, and the other one coming back to my belt, my hip. Okay? So one more time. Up, up, and extend. Bring it back in again, and back down. Okay? Do that slowly a few times. Get used to the movement. Make sure the hands are starting on that front chest line, extending out. This one comes back to our belt. This one is at eye height. If it's not, keep working at it. Okay, so now we go fast-wise. So back into our fighting stance to make it easier yourself. So from here, so we up, through, in, bring it down, and in. So again, notice I bring my foot and clamps it to my other leg. Gaburo Sogi basically, which we're going to go through in one of our other tutorials later down the line. So one more time. Here, and back down again. Into an L stance, guarding block, to practice that as well. The last piece we're going to look at here is now working through from an L stance, because there's other mechanics that we need to look at here to make this happen. Biomechanics is so important in Taekwondo, it's in everything. Understand it and you'll be able to do your techniques much better. So, from our L stance, most moves happen with a preparatory movement. When you get up from sitting up from a chair, you pull your heels in towards you before you sit up, generally, okay? Lots of other instances on this. Before we walk, we actually lean forwards and then we start to topple so we catch up on ourselves. This is no different. So what we have to do here is make sure our L stance is correct width, make sure our feet are at 15 degrees, rear and front, and we're in a guarding position. So, first thing we do is we shift the front foot into 15 degrees inwards. We rotate on the ball of the foot. We don't move on the heel, so we move the heel inwards. From this point now, my rear leg goes exactly on the same route, straight, from here, straight to here. Now look where it is. If you look at it, it's in its exactly the right place, in line with the rear leg, or just past it. My knee is high, my foot is out at an angle. It's not here, it's not close to me, it's there. So we've got a 90-degree bend in the knee, basically. Alright? So one more time. 15 degrees. Up it comes. Okay, so we now put the hands in and we put them together. So do repetitions of that. Next point is the hands. As we do the knee, we do 15 degrees on the front foot. My knee comes straight, I shoot my hand forwards. I don't move my front hand, I shoot the rear hand forwards on top. That is it, okay? It will put me in the right position. Here, this is now on my front chest line, okay? Here, here. Now what we need to do now is rotate more than the foot on the floor, extend out, and we have a side kick, okay? One more time slow. In fact, let's do sideways for you so you get a better idea. Probably the other way. 15 degrees. Up. Shoot the hand. Everything's come straight. Rotate on foot on the floor. Round we come. Out, out, out. Break it in. And down. Now from ways on, fast. Sideways on. Okay, so that's our psychic tutorial, okay? Keep working on everything for perfection, okay? Keep looking at, have you got the lines correct? Are you having the initial rotation of 15 degrees, and then rotating round so the foot on the floor comes to 75 degrees once we've extended that kick out, okay? So, practice all those pieces, multiple times, get it right, get it good, okay? Slow it down if needs be, don't go too fast too soon, don't kick higher than you can. Do perfection at the height you can do. Then from there, your kicks will improve, they will start raising naturally and being better, okay? Good luck with it. I look forward to seeing your posts on the Facebook page and seeing how you're progressing on it, okay?